Hi guys, welcome back. I'm really excited to be bringing you guys finally a Buri update after 6 or 7 weeks. I am. I know a lot of you guys have been asking how he's been going, what's he been up to, and I wanted to bring you guys the update once I felt like ample time had passed and there was enough progress to show, which I feel like there is.
So you're already wearing your helmet.
I'm ready to go. I want to keep the talking short and I want to get to like the fun stuff. But to give you guys a little bit of an understanding of the last couple of weeks, you guys kind of left off from when he had first arrived. Since then, we really slowly started him. So we did some lunging, we did him in the aqua trainer, then we did some riding. I played around with some gear, playing with different saddles I had, different bits. I've now found a really good combination. It's always kind of like a process of getting to know each other in the beginning. And I'm starting to see some really good results from him. So also I love how life has changed. I used to get deliveries like in plastic bags of stuff, and now because of the amount of horses we have, when I place an order, it comes by the pallet. And this is a lunging whip. That's why it might look odd. So that's going to be fun for later. But Buri's right here. Hey, buddy.
And Antares is there.
Swing there. Yes, swing this way though. Look at him from the side. I feel like he's gained so much top line over the top of the neck, over kind of like behind his bum, over the quarters, over the back. It hasn't been that long that he's been here, but I do feel like there's been a really big amount of progress. We're very close. I just had my birthday. We're getting too old for these close angles.
You weren't even in the frame, but anyways.
Oh, but yeah, so I've been really happy with him. He's been doing really well. The only thing I would say is the only thing that I could pick at if I really wanted to be nitpicky, because you guys know, owning horses, it's not that everything is always perfect. I don't think the most perfect horse ever exists, even though he's very close. The only thing, he's a stallion, he's very quiet. I ride him with other horses. You can see he's with everyone else. He just doesn't love when other stallions walk in front of a stable. That's the only thing he has.
But I think it might be a thing that he needs to settle still, because I don't know if he had that in the beginning.
You guys can see that here we have really short walkways. So it is difficult for a stallion. A stallion really makes their stable their own territory. And he doesn't react to the mares, he doesn't react to the geldings, but when a stallion comes past, he puts his ears back and he's not, he's not the happiest. That's the only thing. For the rest, he's been super easy to deal with. He has been really straightforward. He doesn't spook or anything like that. He's been really lovely. So yeah, I've been happy. And we had a couple of frozen days, so I was also already able to put him out on the field, so he could like be on the grass, which I don't know if he's ever been on, and he was really well behaved. He goes in the paddock with other horses next to him, so he's been doing really well.
Really.
Oh, and what a funny coincidence. Yes, and I went to 𝒐𝒏, which is this really big kind of Iberian PRE show that happens in Spain every year. And while we were there, I don't know how it happened. We were walking somewhere, and then this girl comes up to us, either to me or to you.
To me, but
to you. And then she introduces herself with her name, and Yes and I kind of looked at each other. We were like, "Oh, we're not sure who she is."
But I thought you spoke to her before.
No, and then she goes to me and she says, "Oh yeah, hi, I'm the owner of Buri. I was the previous owner."
When I told you, then I think you already knew her.
No, I didn't know anything. I mean, I knew her because so she sold the horse. She sold Buri to the guy that you guys saw on the sales video. But she told me that she's actually the person that with her granddad, she bred him. She's a really young girl. She must have been in her early 20s. And she said she owned him all his life. She bred him, and she also owned his father. So I was like, how odd to go from like buying him to with people that didn't speak English and not really knowing anything at all. Oh, he's having a stretch. Okay, good. But how odd to go from like going to buy him with people that didn't even speak English and hardly getting any information, to then finding the owner and her being able to tell me basically his whole life story. I know of the rider that she trains with as well, and he's a really good rider. I've met him a couple of times. So it was kind of nice to paint the picture and to bring it all in together. But today we're going to be showing you guys how Buri's going under saddle. He's been doing a really good job. I feel like when you first buy horses, and I tell this to everyone, the first couple of weeks it all falls apart. You don't know the horse. What are you laughing at?
Because now I notice. moments when je moet zeggen,
That's a bad habit of mine that I say,
No, but I mean, like, now when you try not to do it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do it now.
It's really funny.
But when you first buy a horse, the first couple of weeks, usually, especially when you buy from Spain, it all falls apart just because there's different management, there's different training, and the horse is kind of like all of a sudden like, whoa, what's going on? I don't understand. So it always takes a couple of weeks, and it took us also a couple of weeks because I was riding him in a different rhythm. I was expecting different reactions off the contact and off the leg, but we found a good middle ground. So I'm going to pop the bridle on him now. We're just going to get into I really wanted to ride for you guys in the outdoor, but first it was frozen, and now we're just having such terrible weather that we have to go in the indoor. But I've ridden him indoor, outdoor, he's the same. He's good either way. But yeah, I'm going to pop the bridle in, and then we're going to get to the riding quickly because I want to show you guys what he's going like. Getting into the rest of the video, I did want to talk to you guys quickly because as you guys know, with our lives having changed so much recently, selling our home, lots of various private challenges. I've told you guys in the past that I have been going to therapy, and I've actually been going to therapy for the past 3 or 4 years. And it's been the single most important thing I've ever done to change my life in order to deal with stress, manage my life in a better way, deal with my emotions, get greater and bigger understanding towards myself. Because this has been such a big part of my journey in my life, I am so excited to say that today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp makes starting therapy a lot less intimidating and a lot easier for a lot more people. BetterHelp lets you have therapy sessions on a phone call or a video call or even just on messages. It's fully digital, but you get to choose whichever avenue you're most comfortable to go down. You fill out a questionnaire that will ask you questions about what challenges you're going through and what kind of therapist you'd like, and then BetterHelp can match you with a therapist to help you. You'll be matched with a therapist in most cases within 48 hours. The best thing is that you just schedule therapy sessions in whenever is most convenient for you. Finding a therapist that actually you click with can be really challenging. I know for me personally it was a little bit of a process, but you don't have to worry. Join over 4 million people who've used BetterHelp in order to gain a healthier and happier life. I want to give you guys a little bump in the right direction to get you started. So if you use my link, which is www.betterhelp.com/MattHarnacke, you'll receive 10% off your first month. Thank you so much BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. This is truly a partner that aligns with what I do already every week in my life, which is therapy. I'm really, really big on. I've been an advocate of this as I've started to quietly, slowly share my journey with therapy. I recommend it to all my friends. And if you support BetterHelp through my link, you're also supporting me and my channel, which I'm very, very grateful for as well. It kind of helps me do what I do. So thank you so much BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. So just quickly to discuss it, because it's going to come up in the comments, it's way easier to talk about now. Let's talk about the gear that I'm using. Boots, the white boots are 𝒋𝒏𝒆𝒚, and so is the cloth. Love 𝒋𝒏𝒆𝒚. If you want like kind of like simplistic Scandinavian design, this has Furtec technology, so it's like ceramic material in the fabric that allows for better circulation. The bridle is 𝒍𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚. I've been loving the 𝒍𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚 bridles. All my doubles are now 𝒍𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚. My snaffles are 𝒍𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚. I love them. Great value for money. Saddle, it's a Kingsley D4. Now that we've addressed that, I'm going to pop on and we're going to get to the riding. I don't know if this will need to be done up one, but maybe you can do that. Yes, so when I'm on, if you don't mind. So I thought I would start doing a voiceover because it's always nicer when I can concentrate when I'm riding and there's too many noises. So with Buri, him being a 9-year-old, I just start with a nice kind of stretchy trot on both sides. Yes, the head's behind the vertical. You can see the contact is quite light. I'm playing with the contact and with the mouth, and for him, he's still not strong enough to be able to round in the back and stay connected with having the nose out. That will come in time, but you guys have to remember it's only been a couple of weeks. So yeah, so I just do both sides, really playful. Also the tempo, I keep it pretty simple. I keep rewarding there. You see that I keep rewarding with my inside hand, and that's because I'm trying to encourage him to take the weight to the outside range. So I'm just telling him he's doing a good job, and I'm telling him don't look for my inside hand, look for my outside hand. Then I just go into a canter. This is still kind of like my warm-up, so it's just an easy canter tempo. I want him just to try and stretch down a little, not too much, but just stretch down a little and warm up his body. I don't know if you guys can remember, but this canter already looks so much better than the canter when I went to buy him. It's already much more balanced and stronger, but you guys will see in a minute when I start to pick the canter back up and connect it, it looks even better. But yeah, from this canter, I'm not really looking for anything too special. I'm just trying to get the horse warmed up and get him to work through the whole body. Just do a simple change. Could have been a little bit better. I could have prepared a little bit better. And then I'm just cantering to the right. I think the right side is the slightly easier side for him. And again, I'm just looking for a really easygoing canter, trying to encourage him to take the weight down into the contact. That can be tricky for him. I think the problem is that they taught him, I don't know when, but they taught him that he should let go of the pressure when you let go, rather than him letting go of the pressure when he feels the pressure. So that's something that we've been working on for a lot of the last couple of weeks, is that when I put pressure on, he responds to it positively by moving away from it, rather than waiting for me to give, then he gives, if that makes sense. And that's it helped us improve a lot the connection, the transitions, everything like that. But yeah, sometimes everyone always rides and teaches things differently. I just prefer that my horses react away from the pressure. I've now picked up a whip once my horse is warmed up, and I'm just starting to do some tempo changes. That's quite difficult for Buri to bring the weight back and start to collect. So once he's warmed up, I have the whip there just in case I need to keep the activity in the hind while I bring him back. But you can see that he's really, really trying. And the reason why I'm practicing this now is I'm trying to get him a little bit more engaged and thinking of the hind end for the changes that are coming up. But also in the future, when I do want to do some pirouette work, this will be kind of like, let's call it my pirouette canter, which is much more collected and thinking back. Obviously, it's something I do on both sides. Then I take the diagonal and I stay in counter canter. I'm not doing any of the changes on the diagonal anymore. I'm using the wall to help me, and I want to be able to make sure that I really know when I'm asking him. So I line him up on the long side, and then I ask for a change. It was a clear change. The hind could have been a little bit bigger, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. Now we're just doing a little half pass. I like to always try and keep him moving, and I don't want him. He's quite a clever horse, so he can quickly start to guess, oh, the change is coming. So I'm doing a little half pass change direction rather than going again on the diagonal. And I'm just trying to keep him supple through his body. Sometimes horses with change work can get a bit more excited. I mean, he's pretty good, but he does start to anticipate it. So I'm just kind of like resuppling his body. And then I will line him up again, and I think I'm going to go for another change here. See, the hind still could be a little bit bigger, but for now, he's keeping the contact nicely and everything, and he gets the idea, so I'm not too bothered. It's something that we will work on in the future. For now, all I've really worked on is the connection and how forward and his reaction to the leg is. So again, little half passes there in the canter and then going into counter canter, and we're going to be doing the change on this side. Now I don't remember how this one was. I think this one was the one that was a little bit more, yeah. So I wanted to show you, this is the one on this side. It's still a little bit big. He's still not finding the strength to really come underneath himself for the change, but he's trying really hard, and it's one step at a time every day. But this is kind of where we're at for the canter work and what we're doing. I try and vary it up, but yeah. So straight into the trot work now. I've picked up the whip, and the first thing I do, and this is my first lap with the whip, is for me the important thing is I want to get that activity in the legs, but I want him to be relaxed and supple over the top line. And here, right in this moment, is when he starts to let go, and he starts to realize that, okay, I can have the power and the forwardness in the legs, but I can have a more relaxed feeling over my top line, over the neck, over the back. Just because my legs are going really like flashy doesn't mean that my whole body has to be tense. And that's what I do in the first couple of rounds while I activate the trot, is I say, okay, let's go, give me power, but give me relaxation into the hand as well. And you can see that this is what we're starting to get. We're starting to get a horse that's like looking for the contact in the hand. I mean, of course, the neck, it could be a little bit more up and the frame a little bit more open, but he is learning. But he's starting to travel a lot better over the legs, and he's really starting to push and get a little bit of more swing from behind. And the kind of blocked laziness feeling is going, because we're getting a horse that's much more honest through his whole body. Here I'm checking him, because after a while I want to make sure that, okay, are you relaxed over the top line? If I let go, will everything stay the same? And it is, because I've got a horse now that's like looking for the hand, but he's got this kind of self-carriage, then a little very, very mild half pass, almost leg yield, to change direction. I'm just kind of testing him, keeping him on his toes, that he doesn't know what to expect next. That way he's listening to me a little bit better. And then I believe I start to work a little bit with some shoulder in soon. And that's something that I do to try and keep the horse supple while I have this more engaged and forward tempo. Again, here I'm just giving him the reins to see what he's doing by himself without my influence and without my help. And you can see that he's staying there nicely. But the idea with him is that I'm always trying to keep him busy with some lateral movements to keep him nice and supple while I do everything in a different tempo. So you can see here the shoulder in. I'm actually super surprised at how well the shoulder in has come. He was very stuck before, and it was not forward, so you would put him into a lateral movement and he would start to think back, back, back. And now he's staying really nicely and forward and in the same rhythm through the exercises, which I'm really, really happy with. And he's been really honest. He tells me also when he's tired and when he's had enough, but today he was feeling quite good. The work is paying off. Here, little leg yield. I don't like with him to do too much of the same thing at any one point. I like to just keep it different and spice it up. The indoor here is a 20/40. It's quite small, so that means that the exercises are all coming a little bit after each other. This is just on the other side. I mean, for the sake of consistency and building him up evenly, I'm obviously doing the exercises on both sides. But you can see, I think this looks pretty good. I mean, we're getting a lot more strength and a lot more collection and a lot more rhythm. And yeah, he's trying really, really hard. All of this kind of stuff is not easy for a horse that's used to working his body completely the other way. He's used to holding his head up with his underneck and going really slowly and having his back hollow. And now we're asking him to go down into the contact, to round the back, and to travel and push from behind. So it is a lot to be asking
Hind leg.
In a short period of time. Here I'm just re-adding a little bit of power. So what I'm doing is I'm asking him again, supple in the front, and then with my leg, and if I need to with 1 or 2 taps with the whip, I'm just saying, okay, and the hind end here, we can just add a little bit of power. And I'm giving every opportunity to soften in the hand through this process, so it's not that he's getting agitated or something, he's just learning that we can add power and stay relaxed. Here we're starting to add a little bit more angle to the half passes. I obviously do them on both sides. So this is something that I like to do in between my half pass work, and it's just some 𝒋𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 work. It's kind of asking a similar thing from the horse, but you can just do it on the straight. And here it's just my way of checking how he's reacting to the leg, and also how stable he's staying inside of that 4-track movement. But then I go on to do the half passes again. So sometimes I'll break up the exercises and do something to help the exercise in the midst of it. And this is just on the other side as well. He does the laterals honestly so easily now. I feel like now that I have him in front and in the hand, the whole horse is able to really supple to whatever questions I'm asking. I also love how the neck is starting to look here. It's really much more up and connected, whilst before it was kind of sucked back, and you start to get this like banana neck situation where they get a lot of under neck. And yeah, and I always take breaks. This is the end though, to stretch them out. Sometimes I stretch them out and I pick them back up, and I do that a couple of times so they can let go a little bit more, find the hand. But for him today, that was enough. Obviously, we're going to end the session with a cool down. Nice big walk. Look at that over track in that walk. And here at the end, you can really start to see the neck is really coming along in the hindquarters as well. There's just such nice development happening. So I'm just excited to see, honestly, in a couple of maybe 2 months, what he's going to start to look like. I think we're going to have a really different horse on our hand. Oh yeah, and obviously before we can begin and resume, the feet have to get cleaned. Before we put him back, I thought it would be nice to just show you guys how his back is going, because you guys saw that when we first saw him. I always like to give him the yes stretch. Yes always likes to do this with his horses. I don't know if you guys can see, but we're getting a lot more condition now through the shoulder, through the top of the back. I think you can kind of see it from here as well, especially this place that is starting to bridge the hindquarters here. We're starting to get a lot more coverage with the muscles. We of course don't just want to
really take a picture with Bear and him together.
Yeah, matching. We of course don't want to just like throw a ton of weight on him. That's not the whole thing. I mean, everyone can just feed a horse a lot and get them super fat, but we want it to be conditioned. But I do like how the neck is starting to look. I do think it's starting to look quite good, don't you think?
It looks even better in real than on the phone, but...
Yeah, I know, it's always difficult to like translate it in real life. But for such a short amount of time, we're also starting to slowly lose more and more of the underneck. So I'm excited to see in like 2 months, I think in 2 months he'll be ready. I'm excited to see then what kind of look we will have with the body and everything. And it will be much nicer for them when they can go back out on the field. Right now, where they can only go in the paddock.
He is so very cute, aren't you? Very cute.
Yeah. And I've also clipped him. I don't know if I mentioned this before, guys. So he looks quite nice. I just can't believe how dappled he is for a 9-year-old still. Hey, you're a good boy. Or you flashy. Okay, I'm gonna put him back. So that was our update on Burry. I wonder what you guys thought of how he's going. Of course, this is not like still the finished product. We've only been like around 6 weeks together, 7 weeks. So we're just, what is it, yes sir?
This is what you did with my video last time.
Oh yeah.
You were all making these like...
But it's fine, I can handle it. Yes is trying to distract me in the background.
That's what you did to me.
But yeah, I've only had him a kind of short amount of time. I feel like he is making good progress, but I don't want to like push too much. It should all kind of be in his time with what he's offering. But of course, there's going to be times where we have to go outside his comfort zone to explore new things. But yeah.
He's trying to not look at me.
Yeah, I'm trying just to ignore Jesse. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought. And I'm excited to give you guys a 2 to 2.5 month update with how he's going. And then to be honest, I think once all the work that we're doing now is solidified and he's finding it all really, really easy, he'll be ready to sell. I have actually already gotten quite a lot of interest. It's very, very kind. Everyone's emails that I've received, I've replied to and I've put in a folder. So once he is for sale, I will reach out to those people first that have made the first contact. So if you're interested, you can always send me an email just at mattharnacke@gmail.com. We will reply to you, and when he's ready to be sold, we will reach out. Okay, that's everything for now. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.